No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walk the mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take a few to lose. Built to win, applied myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, applied myself.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm here to give y'all bowl recaps, give you a bowl preview of week 2 of bowl season just for the weekday. I'll come at y'all with another episode for Saturday. But before I do all that, I would like to ask that you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share. It helps the network grow. It helps the channel grow. So if you like what you see on these shows, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, round down the rabbit hole. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. Now I'm going to try to rush y'all out of here because there's a bowl game at 2:30. We have the Western Kentucky Old Dominion Bowl game at 2:30 today. So hopefully you can lock in and get some little midday college football. I know I will be locked in. So, but before let's get into these previews. These recaps. So we got the Myrtle Beach Bowl, which was won by Ohio to cap off a 10-win season for the Ohio Bobcats. They won the game 41-21. Davis Brin had a horrible game for Georgia Southern, 3 interceptions, another multi-pick game for the Georgia Southern quarterback. Just can't take care of the football. Top of 3 picks, I believe he had 1 fumble. I know another fumble was Derwin Burgess, so they had like 5 turnovers on a day. Ohio played the 3rd-string running back. Parker Navarro, 3rd-string quarterback, got the job done. I know I said I wasn't sure if they could put up 10 to 14 points. They put up 41. I forgot to put into account how terrible Georgia Southern's defense is. Georgia Southern might give up 21 points to a high school team. I'm joking, but I'm obviously exaggerating, but I'm just trying to emphasize how bad Georgia Southern's defense is. Let's get into it. So Georgia Southern starts with the Davis Brin interception. Funny enough. Which leads to an Ohio 27-yard field goal. Ohio scores then a Ricky Hunt 2-yard touchdown run. Set up by Parker Navarro 16-yard run. Davis Brin would then throw another interception, which would lead to a turnover on downs, 4th and 3 passes incomplete, which would lead to a Georgia Southern punt. Ohio would then score an 18-yard Ricky Hunt touchdown catch. Set up by Parker Navarro 24-yard run. Georgia Southern's Davis Brin would get sacked and fumble, which would lead to a 26-yard field goal. And then Ohio would start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Georgia Southern starts with Davis Brin. Will start with another Davis Brin interception, being his 3rd on the night, which will lead to a 6-yard Ricky Hunt touchdown run. Georgia Southern would then answer with a 3-yard David Mbadinga touchdown run set up by Dalen Cobb 39-yard catch. Georgia Southern's Derwin Burgess would then fumble, which will lead to a 40-yard Ricky Hunt touchdown run, marking his 4th of the day, 4th total touchdown. Georgia Southern would then answer with a 65-yard Derwin Burgess touchdown catch. And then Georgia Southern would recover an onside kick, and that would lead to a J.J. McAfee 15-yard touchdown catch. Georgia Southern would then turn the ball over on downs on 4th and 2 passes incomplete, which would lead to a Ricky Hunt 9-yard touchdown run. And Georgia Southern on his last drive of the game would turn the ball over on downs again, 4th and 3 passes incomplete, which would lead to the end of the game. And like I said, man, Georgia Southern defense, they weren't always put in great situations due to the turnovers. 5 turnovers. It's hard to bounce back and win with 5 turnovers, but they weren't also stopping Ohio on 3rd down either. It didn't matter the situation. It could have been 3rd and 30, 3rd and 20. We've seen them convert to 3rd and 15. So, I know I'm, again, exaggerating, but, they could not get off the field on 3rd down, which hurt Georgia Southern. And then you mix that with the fact you have 5 turnovers, keep putting that defense on the field. It just doesn't bode well for you. Ohio Parker Navarro had a pretty good game. Ricky Hunt had a phenomenal game, 5 total touchdowns. The boy was lights out. Great win for Ohio. Back-to-back 10-win seasons for the Bobcats. Yeah, man, just a great season for the MAC team, for the MAC Ohio Bobcats. So we move on to the New Orleans Bowl. By the way, I did pick Georgia Southern to win that game, and they lost. So that started me off 0-1 for both seasons. I was highly upset. Then we go to Jack State, my beloved Jack State Gamecocks. No, I'm not a fan through. I just love this Jack State team. They played Louisiana in the New Orleans Bowl, and they got the overtime W. Hold on, let me fix that because I did not put it was in overtime. But they got the overtime W, 34-31. What the world is that? Give me 1 second. There we go. I had to fix it. Yeah, boom. Had to get the W for my boys. They ended with a 9-win season, first year in FBS football. Last year they were FCS, and for those who don't know what that means, FBS, just think a bit about it like this in old school terms. FBS is D1A. FCS is D1AA. So FBS is all the Georgias, Michigans. Then you got your mid-major FBSs like your Tulanes, like your UTSAs, like your Liberties. And then FCS is North Dakota State, South Dakota State, Duquesne, Sacramento State, teams like that. So they moved up from the North Dakota States and all those to the mid-major FBSs, the Liberties, the Western Kentuckys, the UTSAs, the Tulanes, things of that nature. Won 9 games. So great season for Rich Rod and the Jack State Gamecocks. So let's get into it. Now, Jack State would start by shooting themselves in the foot. They would they wouldn't even throw a pick six. They would have a scoop and score by Jalen Carter after Perry Carter fumbled. No, Jalen Clark, excuse me. Perry Carter is the one who fumbled. So they start off down 7-0. Then Zion Webb would throw an interception, but that would lead to a Louisiana punt. Then Jack State would score a 1-yard cold full of touchdown run set up by a Perry Carter 33-yard catch. If y'all remember, I said they got to connect one time at least with a Perry Carter deep shot. 33, some say intermediate. I say that's a deep ball. Jack State, turnover on downs, 4th and 8 pass it's complete to Quentin Lane, but it's only complete for 5 yards, 3 yards short. Turnover on downs. Leads to a 3-and-out punt. Then with 4:22 left in the second quarter, Zion Webb would throw a pick six to none other than Jalen Clark. I wrote Jalen Carter. Oops. Y'all know who that is. D tackle for the Eagles. Jalen Clark gets his second touchdown of the day. Just threw it right at him. Well, actually, I can't even say that because he made a good play. He read the quarterback's eyes and he jumped it. Pick six. Jack State would then answer with a Ron Wiggins 7-yard touchdown run set up by P.J. Wells' 26-yard catch, which would tie the game going into halftime. Then coming out of half, Louisiana would start with a 3-and-out punt, while Jack State would start with a 22-yard field goal. Then Louisiana would answer with a Chandler Fields 1-yard touchdown run set up by a Terrence Carter 20-yard catch. And then Jack State would answer with a 10-yard Logan Smothers touchdown run set up by Quentin Lane 23-yard catch. So Zion Webb ended up getting benched for Logan Smothers. Jack State wanted to see if Logan Smothers can spark the offense, get the offense going. I know it was a couple times on the broadcast, they said Rich Rod was yelling at Jack State for allowing Louisiana to substitute because, Jack State, they want to speed it up, fast, high-tempo offense. So, yeah. Then, after the Logan Smothers touchdown, Louisiana would answer with a 33-yard field goal. Then with 5:32, Logan Smothers would throw a pick six of his own to Tyrese Skipper, which would put Louisiana up a touchdown. But then Zion Webb would come back and lead a game-tying touchdown drive with 1:46 left in the game. 18-yard touchdown pass to none other than Perry Carter to tie the ball game at 31. Set up by 2 catches for 29 yards by Quentin Lane. And then in overtime, Jack State would win off of a 27-yard field goal because Louisiana, who got the ball first, missed their opening field goal. So Jack State tried to get as close as possible. They were trying to score, but, obviously on 4th down, you're not going to go for it. When you got the game right here, they kick the field goal, they win it. Winning overtime, Jack State wins its first FBS Bowl school's history in its first year in FBS football. Again, now, I understand what I just told y'all. It's hard to come back when you have 5 turnovers, right? Jack State gave Louisiana 3 touchdowns. Jack State had a scoop and score, a fumble that went for a touchdown, and 2 pick sixes. So they gave Louisiana 21 points and still found a way to win that game. They were able to run the ball well. Passing, as you can see, it was a little bit iffy, but found a way to win. Shout out to Jack State. Got the W, gets the New Orleans Bowl. Moving on to Miami of Ohio. By the way, I did pick Jack State. 9, App State 13 in the Cure Bowl. I did pick Miami of Ohio to win because the site I looked up 2 sites. Never mentioned that Avion Smith was not playing. I found out like the morning of, like, this dude had entered the transfer portal. I don't know how I missed it. He entered the transfer portal Monday. I missed it. I apologize. As soon as I seen that, I said, oh, yeah, App State's going to win. But I still like them to cover the 6.5, which they did. App State wins 13-9. Yeah, just a defensive battle. As you can see, where App State starts the game with a Joey Aguilar interception, which would lead to Miami of Ohio's field goal, 34-yard field goal. App State would then answer with a 29-yard field goal. Then they would score a 22-yard field goal. Then Rashad Amos would fumble, the most consistent piece of this offense. Had 2 fumbles on a day. The first fumble led to a turnover on downs, 4 for 2 passes incomplete, which led to a punt. Then the second fumble led to a turnover on downs. Anderson Castle run was stuffed short, which will lead to the end of the half. So both fumbles didn't hurt in terms of the scoreboard, but it hurts in terms of trying to get something going on offense. Then Miami will start the second half with a turnover on downs, 4 for 2. Rashad Amos was only able to get a yard on the run. Then that would lead to an App State 9-yard Joey Aguilar touchdown run, which would put the game out of reach at that point. App State Kanye Roberts would then fumble, which would lead to a 23-yard Rashad Amos touchdown run. I believe the extra point was no good. Then with 10-13 left in the game, Isaiah Helms would fumble, which would lead to a 3-and-out punt. And then Miami's Keyshawn Mosey would fumble, which would lead to the end of the game. So I believe both teams had 3 turnovers apiece. Just an ugly game. You can tell by the score and the turnovers. App State was just able to outlast Miami of Ohio, who had a third-string quarterback in. Rashad Amos didn't play well at all. Fumbled the ball a lot. Led to App State winning by 4. Moving on to a blowout, which, again, was thinking offensively, not thinking defensively. Pick New Mexico State to win the New Mexico Bowl. Fresno State wins 37-10 in blowout fashion. Not taking into account that New Mexico State can't stop a high school offense. I know I go to that as my exaggeration, but still, New Mexico State defense cannot get stops. Fresno State, honestly, was just shooting themselves in the foot. The pick Mikey King threw in the end zone. Why did he throw that pass in the first place? Shouldn't have thrown the pass. He had a field goal. No need to force anything. And you can tell by the second half, with Fresno State scoring on 4 out of 5 drives, the one drive they didn't score on, for some reason they went for it on 4th down, got a turnover on downs. So New Mexico State defense really didn't get stops on Fresno State. It's just Fresno State was just shooting themselves in the foot. While New Mexico State couldn't score. They scored on 1 drive in both halves. The first half was a field goal. Their drives went punt, interception, punt. They actually got a field goal due to the punt returner fumbling the ball. And New Mexico State was able to recover. So that's how they got their field goal, punt, turnover on downs. Then the second half, it went touchdown, punt, turnover on downs, and the game. Fresno State scored on 3 drives, 1 drive, again, punt return to fumble, so they couldn't have a chance to score there. Theirs went field goal, touchdown, punt, fumble, punt, touchdown, interception, halftime. Getting the interception in the red zone, no need to force anything. Tried to force some, picked off, could have scored before then. So, not going to get too much into this game. That's pretty much all I got for this game for real. Fresno State offense was stupendous, spectacular. Mikey King had a really good game this game. Fresno State defense. Oh, got to throw out Josiah, what's his name? Josiah, not Price, because I think that's a former Michigan State player. I think his name is Josiah Freeman, the wide receiver, who had a nasty touchdown. I think their first touchdown was him. He had a nasty touchdown. Josiah Freeman had a pretty good game. I won't say he had a monster game, but he had a pretty good one. Had a nice little touchdown there. I'm gonna make sure it is him. Yeah, Josiah Freeman had 3 for 47, 1 touchdown. These receivers, honestly, were making like spectacular catches as well in the first half. So shout out to them. We're going to move on though. I did pick New Mexico State, and I was completely wrong, leaving me at 1-3. But these last 2 bowl games, they helped me out. We got the LA Bowl. UCLA 35, Boise State 22. Did pick UCLA to win. Now, UCLA first half was down 7-16. Colin Shalee looked okay, but Boise State was able to get stops. Now, Colin Shalee broke his second long run of the day in the second half, but he got hurt on that, and Ethan Garbers had to take over for the rest of the day. And when Ethan Garbers came in, that offense caught fire, and Boise State couldn't keep up. So, UCLA, they started with a punt. Boise State starts with a 33-yard field goal. And then Boise State will score a 23-yard field goal. And then UCLA will answer with a 5-yard Hudson Habermill touchdown catch set up by Colin Shalee 50-yard run. Then Boise State will answer with a 33-yard field goal to go up 9-7. Boise State will score a 1-yard George Helani touchdown run set up by Ashton Gentry 16-yard run. I believe on that run, that's when he started right, cut back left, and had a little lane. Ashton Gentry is just tough. Just point blank, period. Boise State scores the second half. Starts the second half, with a punt. UCLA will score the 5-yard Cal Ford touchdown. The touchdown pass was thrown by Ethan Garbers because on this drive, Colin Shalee broke the 44-yard run, got hurt. Ethan Garbers comes in, finishes off the drive. Honestly, when Ethan Garbers comes in as well, that's when Jermichael Studevant wakes up. Then UCLA will get the ball back and score a 1-yard TJ Harden touchdown run set up by Jermichael Studevant 39-yard catch. Then UCLA will score a 14-yard TJ Harden touchdown run set up by Jermichael Studevant 41-yard catch. Then with 6:18 left in the game, C.J. Tiller will throw an interception, which will lead to a Jermichael Studevant 40-yard touchdown catch. And then Boise State will answer with a George Helani 66-yard touchdown run. The 2-point will be no good. UCLA would then recover Boise State's onside kick attempt and run out the last 5:08 of the game to solidify the win at 35-22. Again, like I said, Ethan Garbers came in and did an amazing job running the offense, scoring 3 straight touchdowns. I thought Ethan Garbers was going to start the game, so I was actually surprised when Colin Shalee started it. But, hey, Ethan Garbers got the job done, and they win the LA Bowl. Now, Chip Kelly's future with UCLA is in question. For some reason, I disagree, but for some reason, his future with UCLA is in question. And we have the last bowl game of Saturday night, which was the Independence Bowl. I did pick Texas Tech to win. I just thought they would be the better team at running the football. In reality, though, these Texas Tech receivers were making spectacular catches. They were just making great catches. They was able to make better than these Cal receivers. Baron Morton was giving them opportunities to make plays. And Texas Tech wins 34-14. Cal scored their first 2 drives, weren't unable to score the rest of the game. Now, you can say the first drive, they were handed a touchdown because, and I'll get into it. Oops, after I turn the page, turn this right the wrong way. Texas Tech received the ball first. But the return man fumbled the opening kickoff. Cal recovers, and then Fernando Mendoza throws a 25-yard touchdown pass to Monroe Young. Then Cal will get a turnover on downs, 4th and 2. So they didn't score in their first 2 of their first 3, excuse me. Cal will get a turnover on downs, 4th and 2. Jaden Ott run for a loss, leads to a Coy Eakin 27-yard touchdown catch. But then Cal will answer with a Jaden Ott 1-yard touchdown run, set up by a Tron Grizel 51-yard catch. And that'd be it for Cal. Texas Tech will answer with a Mason Tharp 15-yard touchdown catch, set up by a Cal personal foul. Texas Tech would then score a 14-yard Loic Fononji touchdown catch, set up by Xavier White 41-yard catch. And then with 3 seconds left in the second half, Texas Tech will score a 25-yard field goal. So basically going to halftime. Cal will start the second half with a Fernando Mendoza interception, which will lead to a punt. Texas Tech will score a 7-yard Taj Brooks touchdown run. That was set up by a bad punt. Then Cal turnover on downs, 4th and 1. Jaden Ott run for a loss, leads to a 39-yard missed field goal, which will lead to a Fernando Mendoza fumble, which will lead to a Baron Morton interception, which will lead to a Fernando Mendoza interception, which will lead to a point. So we just got real sloppy right here in the game. Then Fernando Mendoza would throw an interception when they got the ball back, which would lead to a 37-yard field goal. Then nothing else really happens. That would be your ball game. Texas Tech, again, wins 34-14 to win the Independence Bowl. I believe they have a 7-win season now. I think they finished the year 7-6. Good win for Baron Morton to come into next year with, I believe Taj Brooks is back. I'm not sure, actually. But that's a nice little win for Baron Morton to hang his hat on to next year. I'm amazed to see what Jaden Ott does next year. I'm amazed to see what Fernando Mendoza, if he comes back to Cal, what he does. But again, shout out to these Texas Tech receivers for making big plays, making spectacular catches. And shout out to Baron Morton for giving them opportunities to make those spectacular catches. Now, before I go into these previews, I got to do some major performances. I got 8. Now, some of these might be a stretch, but hey, got 6 games to work with. Got to give some guys some love. First one, Coy Eakin, Texas Tech receiver, 7 catches for 106 yards and a touchdown. Ricky Hunt, Ohio running back, 17 carries, 115 yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground, and then an 18-yard touchdown catch through the air, obviously. Ron Wiggins, Jack State running back, 27 carries, 126 yards, and a tud. Jalen Clark, Louisiana defensive back, 3 tackles, a pick 6, and a scoop and score. So when you have 2 touchdowns on defense, you got to be a major performer. Mikey Keene, 31 for 39, 380 yards, 3 tuds, an interception, and a rushing touchdown. Jermichael Studevant, 4 catches for 142 yards and a touchdown for UCLA. Colin Shalee, I know it's not crazy stats, but for him to do this basically in the first half in one drive, to me is major. 11 for 16, 78 yards, a touchdown, 7 carries for 127 yards for UCLA quarterback. And George Halani, 17 carries for 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 45-yard catch. So those are my major performances for this weekend's bowl game. Now, to move on to our bowl previews for Monday through Friday. So it's one on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Thursday, and one on Friday. So I'm already here. We have the famous Toastery Bowl, Western Kentucky versus Old Dominion. Old Dominion is -6.5. Now, again, I know normally for my previews, I do 5 keys for each team to win. But since there's opt-outs and things of that nature, I just got 5 key points. Not 5 keys, just 5 key points for each team in the game. So Western Kentucky, Austin Reed is a bowl opt-out. Their starting quarterback, amazing career at Western Kentucky. He's getting ready for the Senior Bowl, the Senior Shrine Bowl. Looks like they've turned to Turner Hilton, the coach's nephew at quarterback. He's a redshirt freshman. Malachi Corley, however, is suiting up, so that's a huge get for Western Kentucky in this bowl game today. Western Kentucky has 17 bowl game opt-outs, and they have to establish a run with their running back by committee because none of the running backs that they have on Poindexter, I think Stepp, none of those guys, however, are opt-outs. Now, for Old Dominion, they have 14 opt-outs. Quarterback Grant Wilson and Ray Mello Murphy are both playing. The receiver, Ray Mello Murphy, is playing. Have to heat up Western Kentucky starting quarterback, especially if it's the redshirt freshman. Yes, he has 8 total passes on the year, but no, he has not played in a game this big, and he really hasn't started a game. So heat him up. So let's see what he can do. The main focus has to be on Malachi Corley because they love to get him the ball in open space. They love to get him in screen passes, short slants, short passes, get him out in open space, and let him make guys miss, run through guys, things like that. And I believe that they have to be able to score because Western Kentucky, even without the bowl opt-outs, have the 114th total defense. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go with Old Dominion because they have the starting quarterback. They're going against a not terrible, but a not-so-good defense. I think Old Dominion wins this game. I'm interested to see what Western Kentucky could do in this air raid offense with a redshirt freshman starting his first game. So give me Old Dominion to win this. Yo, what up, Teddy? Oh, speaking of Teddy, I believe Teddy's going live tonight. So after the main show, please stick around for the main show and BWT. If I'm correct, then BWT going live tonight. Then we move on to the Frisco Bowl tomorrow. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock on ESPN. So that's UTSA versus Marshall. UTSA is 11.5-point favorites. For UTSA, Trey Moore is a huge loss. He is not playing. He is in the transfer portal. Huge loss for this defensive line. 1 opt-out on offense in total, and I don't even think he's really relevant to that offense. Frank Harris, this is his last game for UTSA. Frank Harris has to take care of the football, and he has to get the ball to Josh Cephas as well as Tyke Oku-Kellogg. Those are two guys he really got to get the ball to. Now for Marshall, they have 18 opt-outs. Cam Fancher, the starting quarterback, will not play, while Rasheen Ali, basically the best player on the team, the running back, he is playing in this bowl game, and he will be relied on heavily. Cole Pennington looks in line to get the start, which I think he is related to Chad Pennington. I think Chad Pennington did go to Marshall with Randy Moss. I can be fact checked, but I think that is the relation. Okay, so BWT is live at 11 o'clock tonight. So y'all make sure to stay up late to watch my boy talk about these awards and things. And Caleb Combs is an opt-out, which is their second leading receiver, while their leading receiver, DeMarcus Harris, will be playing tonight. So that'll be huge there for this Marshall offense. But I'm going to roll with UTSA in this one. I believe they only have 4 total opt-outs against Marshall's 18 opt-outs. So you have a guy who's a senior league guy, used to playing in big games with Frank Harris, going against a guy who's not even really the starter here. He's just looking at line to start. Marshall offense already isn't that great. They have a pretty good defense, but again, 18 opt-outs. It's a lot of opt-outs. So I'm going to go ahead and take UTSA in the Frisco Bowl. We move on to the Boca Raton Bowl, which is Thursday at 8 on ESPN. So I know a lot of you probably won't be watching because Thursday night football, which is actually a pretty good matchup. We got the Rams Saints on Thursday night. So that's a battle for the seventh spot in the playoff race. Also, battle for the Saints to try to win their division. So I know a lot of y'all are going to be watching that. I'm going to be watching both. We got USF versus Syracuse. Syracuse favored by 2.5 points. Now, USF has 8 opt-outs, but Byron Brown will play. And he has to take advantage of the fact that Syracuse is the 75th ranked passing defense. Also, Sean Akins, he will be playing as well. We'll have their leading runner and receiver against Sean Akins. Byron Brown will have to use his legs. He will have to use his legs because he is dangerous both on the ground and through the air. And the defense will have to contain Garrett Schrader because, as y'all know from previous episodes, Syracuse is more dangerous when Garrett Schrader can get out in open field and run. And he has more of a chance to take care of the football when he's running it, not throwing it, obviously. That's just basic football. So, got to contain him. For Syracuse, they have 15 opt-outs. But their opt-outs do not include Garrett Schrader, LaQuint Allen, and Marlo Wax. They're all playing. LaQuint Allen is their leading rusher. Garrett Schrader will have to take care of the football because y'all know that boy gets turnover prone, putting that thing through the air. And they have to take advantage of UCF's 70th ranked run defense, which, again, Syracuse, in my opinion, when they run the football, they're dangerous. And so for that reason, I'm going to pick Syracuse. I'm going to pick Syracuse because Syracuse gets a little sloppy through the air. But if you allow Syracuse to run the ball, that's when it gets dangerous. And USF has the 70th ranked run defense, which leads me to believe that Syracuse will have a lot of success being able to run the football. So I'm going to take Syracuse in that one. Now we have the last bowl game of the weekday, and that's the Gasparilla Bowl, Georgia Tech versus UCF. That's Friday at 6:30 on ESPN. So for that one, Georgia Tech has 11 opt-outs. Haynes King, however, will play. Now, Haynes King has to take care of the football because he has 15 interceptions on the year. Georgia Tech is going to have to be able to win a shootout because I don't think Georgia Tech's defense is going to be able to stop UCF's offense. And defense, UCF is not really known to have a defense as well. So they're going to have to be able to win a shootout. Have to contain John Rice Plumlee because John Rice Plumlee is for sure a runner. He can definitely run the ball. He's most dangerous when he's running the ball. And John Rice Plumlee is like Garrett Schrader in a sense where if he's running the football, it's less of a chance for you to get that interception off of him, which he is likely to throw. For UCF, they have 10 opt-outs, but their opt-outs aren't their offense. Their offense will play. John Rice Plumlee, Javon Baker, RJ Harvey, Johnny Richardson, all those guys are playing. Has to take advantage of the 101st ranked scoring defense. Again, Georgia Tech scoring defense is bad. There's going to be a shootout. John Rice Plumlee, use your legs. I already explained that. And they have to run the ball because Georgia Tech has the 128th ranked run defense. That's out of 130 schools. So they're the third worst run defense in the country in the FBS level. So with that being said, I am going to take UCF to win this game because Gus Malzahn will pound the rock. He will pound the rock. John Rice Plumlee, with that being said, will have less opportunities to turn the rock over. I don't think Georgia Tech is going to be able to score as much. I do see Haynes King throwing a pick or two. I just have UCF. I think Gus Malzahn will have his guys ready. He will have a great game plan going against the 101st scoring defense and the 128th rush defense. So give me UCF to win the game. Now, with that being said, that's all I got for y'all today. I believe the main show is next. I don't know what time they're going live. I'm assuming 7 o'clock. That's around the average time they go live. So please stick around for the main show at 7 featuring Joe Tomo and Dave and any other special guests they may have. Might be interesting because we just had a blowout of a game for America's Game of the Week. So you might want to stick around and see what they got to say for that. Unlike, you other major media, we're going to talk about other games. I watched Undisputed for like the first time in a while this morning. I'm like, dang, this is like the third, fourth Cowboy segment they got. When we going to talk about other teams that's worth talking about. But, hey, that's why you watch us, to get media coverage about not just certain teams, but all teams. So, yeah, man. But, again, that's all I got for y'all. Y'all please stick around. But I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.